All right, price action for VET in the short term does not really look great right now. In fact, it looks pretty bearish, and that's what I want to talk about today. Over the last few weeks, well, really since January, VET has been experiencing lower lows and lower highs, which is the definition of a downtrend. We have a high here, a low, a lower high, yes, a lower low, a lower high, and we even made a lower low when we dipped under this 0.027 briefly yesterday. I can draw a line right here. It's a downtrend line, a trend line that is down really. And you can see it easily tells us and shows us and reflects the price action that VET is under right now, and that is with a bunch of downward pressure. Now, VET is not the only coin that is experiencing a bunch of downward pressure. I consistently make videos on about 10 altcoins, and almost every one of those, there's a few that aren't, but almost every one that I do videos on is experiencing downward pressure, like ADA, Doge, even Solana, as strong as it is wrestling with a downtrend in the short term. Avalanche, as strong as it is falling downward. Link is the one that kind of seems to be doing its own thing right now, in that it doesn't really have that downward pressure, but it also did not have the big rise. It had a nice rise in October to December, but it did not have the big rise of going 2, 3, 4, and 5 times higher like some of the other coins did. But getting back to VET, well, I just wanted to point out the fact that this is not a unique situation. VET is struggling with a downtrend, but it's not the only one. Let's talk about why VET is struggling with the downtrend. Well, it's mainly because of Bitcoin. Bitcoin over the last, also January, since the ETFs were approved, here's where the ETFs were approved. The day after it spiked up to 49,000, we got a nice high, but it was immediately pushed back down. The weekly looks pretty bad. This is last week's, okay? Look at that big spike up. And then we closed way below where we opened. We were down around the 41,000s at the close of last week. And this week so far, which is close to ending in a day or two, has been a week of indecision in Bitcoin. You can see that by we have opened, gone higher / going lower, kind of ranged a little bit. And right now, if the week were to close, we'd be closing right around where we opened. So this is a week of indecision. But what has happened in that week of indecision is that we have broken out of the bottom of this rising channel, and we have gone below and almost tagged 40,000. We didn't quite tag it. This is a low of 40,258 on my chart. But it's interesting how powerful these levels have been. This trend line, rising channel, like I said, for Bitcoin has been consistent since December, capturing these lower lows and lower highs. We are getting these broadening formations, which is these bigger ranges, which means there's just more volatility ahead. But the last few days, we were struggling to maintain above this rising channel. And over the last 2 days, we have broken out, and that's when we've tumbled a bit. This tumbling down to 40,000, of course, we've still since bounced back up, but that tumbling caused a lot of these altcoins to break their levels of support that they were sitting on. Here's the days that VET was wrestling around this all-important 0.03 while Bitcoin was doing its dance at the bottom of this channel. And when Bitcoin fell out, VET fell out. And it broke below this 0.03, and we've since been in this range right here of 0.027 to 0.03. And that seems to be, well, I can't say that's where we're going to stay. Eventually, the alts are going to uncouple from Bitcoin. I don't see that happening yet. It's not happening yet. And what I mean by that is Bitcoin falling and making lower lows is causing the alts to fall and make lower lows, which if you zoom out on VET, you've got to understand, goodness, we were about 0.15 in October. We went 2.5 times up to about 0.03839, almost 0.40. And we are giving back a bunch of those gains. This is not fun to watch. I hold VET. I want VET to go up. I want VET to be at $1, $2, $3, $5, $10, $1,000. But that's just not reality. Right now, we're struggling with this downward pressure across Bitcoin, across crypto, across VET. And if Bitcoin gives up that 40,000, If Bitcoin gives up 40,000, which is not beyond the realm of possibility, in fact, I mean, goodness, how could you not think that there's a possibility we could give up 40,000 when we tagged 40,258 yesterday? That's how close we were. So if Bitcoin falls out into this range right here, VET, I believe, where'd it go? Is going to fall below this 0.027 and start headed into this 0.024 to 27 range. Do I want to see that? Of course not. Like I said, I'm a VET holder. I want us to go long, but that's what could happen, and kind of looks like so far is the pressure pushing us down to those levels, not only in VET but other coins as well. How would you know that we are kind of over this downtrend that we've been in since the end of December, going on a month now? Well, there's got to be a couple of things to happen in VET. For us to break this downtrend, obviously, we have to go above this trend line and get out of it and start moving higher. We also have to get above this 0.03 and not just spike up above it and then close below. That would not be good. That would simply indicate that there's a bunch of sellers here, and when price touched it, the sellers sold and down it came. We don't need that. And it may do that a couple of times. It may have to do that a couple of times, but the long-term goal is for VET to break this trend line, get back above this 0.03 and make some daily closes and start rebasing above 0.03, okay? It's got to do that before it can start going higher. And right now, I just don't see that happening. It could happen. I just don't see the momentum for it to happen. And you can clearly see there is no momentum for it to go up. Now, we might go up. Now, this is what you got to be careful about. We might do something about this, like that. And then that, okay? We might go up and hit this trend line, break 0.03 and fall. Don't let it fool you, okay? Don't let that fool you. That would be normal price action. I'm telling you, until we break this trend line and close above 0.03, until both of those happen, do not trust anything with VET going up. If you want to buy more VET right now, that would be now's a pretty good time to do it. We haven't been to these levels in over a month. If you want to be a more aggressive, not aggressive, if you want to get a better price, let's see if Bitcoin doesn't break 40,000 and we get down here, and maybe you can pick some up on the spike down around 0.024. How will you know I'm wrong about Bitcoin? This is what Bitcoin has to do to go up. Don't let this fool you. This could happen. Pop. Pop. Don't let this fool you. Do not get excited about Bitcoin going up until we get above 45,000 and close above 45,000 for a couple of days. Do not let a spike up there and then back down fool you. Do not let price moving up to 44,000 over this weekend fool you if it should happen. I'm telling you, before Bitcoin can make higher highs, it's going to have to rebase above 45,000, close there a day or two or three, and then only then do we have a chance of it going higher. If we don't see Bitcoin starting to run up to 45,000 and we don't see VET starting to run up to this trend line, everything is still downward pressure. So we've got to be watching the price and expecting lower lows right here, because that's just the way we're trending. And until the trend changes, that's a big trend from December 26th to January 20th. That's a big trend. It's going to take us a little bit of time to break out of this trend line and carry on higher. We're creating all this downward structure, and that just solidifies the down price, and it's going to take longer to break that structure to the upside. So there's what you need to watch before we're going to see any consistent upside to VET and be able to attack these higher highs. And I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know when that's going to happen, okay? I just don't know when we're going to break above this trend line and go higher. And I don't know how far we'll go until we do turn around and break that trend line, right? I don't know. But my guess is we're going to end up being down here. I mean, just look at the price. Even today, we're still struggling above this 0.027. Looks like we might go on and tag down here to 0.027 exactly again today. And that's just opening up this. The more times you kick a door, the better chance it has of falling down, right? There's a kick. There's a kick. We had a kick yesterday, and it looks like we're lining up to kick the door again. So just be careful out there. Long term, I'm a holder of VET. Long term, I'm a holder of crypto. Long term, I want us all to go up and make money, but that's not right now. Okay, that's not right now. That was in October, November, and December, and now we're just experiencing the natural breathing in and movements of the markets. A correction, retracement, pullback, whatever you want to call it, that's what we're in right now. And I've given you the points to watch for before we have any indication that's going to change. Until then, expect further downward pressure. All right, be careful out there. Trade well, trade carefully. Don't lose all your money on silly moves. I'll talk to you later.